Hi, friends. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I haven't been on here on live since I think Thursday. So I'm just here to catch you up on what I've been doing and to hear from you, hopefully, about what you've been doing. And I hope it's been great. We are getting ready for Christmas. So today is Monday, December 22nd. If you hear a lot of noise in the background, that is construction happening just outside of my window. There is nothing I'll be able to do about it other than if it's bothering you. Um, I just say I don't know if I'll be able to film, but they are there every day during the daylight hours. They come at 7 something and they're there until 5 something, and that is all the daylight hours that I'm awake. Um, so if I was gonna do a live when they're not working, it would have to be on Sunday, which I'm not available mostly on Sundays because my family is home and quite often we go away to see extended family, um, or at night, which again my family is home and I have other responsibilities. So today my daughter is home. My daughter is home. She's sleeping. She's not feeling well. She's been having a cold, fever, congestion, all of the things. She had a round of it just about a month ago. Um, and she got better, but I guess her resistance is a little low, her immunity is a little low, and so she got sick again. And I've been telling her, you got to get better because it's Christmas. But, she's cycling through it. She spent a lot of the last 2 days just sleeping. But when she gets up, she tries. She's trying so hard to just do all the things. So we had a little Christmas party yesterday with my mother-in-law because we're not going to see her on Christmas Day. So we went to do because we generally go to see her on Sunday. So yesterday we brought all the Christmas cheer and the gifts and the food I cooked. We bought some food and I made some additional things. And the music and the presents and all the things. And it was nice. My daughter was sleeping. She said, "I just need to take a little nap," and then she would wake up and we take a picture by the tree, and then she'd go back to sleep. Just need to take a little nap. So in the span of maybe 3 4 hours, she took about 3 naps, which is so unusual for her. But you just know she's sick. She has a fever. And this fever spikes sometimes. So you feel when she gets like really hot, and then she's okay. Not okay, but the fever goes down. So the temperature, it's going back and forth. And we've been in contact with her doctor, and the doctor just says, some over-the-counter medicine to just kind of control the fever, and hopefully in a couple of days she'll be much better. She's a little hesitant to take the medicine, as I think you may be familiar with other children. So we have 3 kinds of medicine that she could take, and really she doesn't like 2 of them. Not that she likes the third, but she will allow it. But what was happening was she had a sore throat. So the tablet that she'll take is like a chewable Tylenol. And she said like it makes her throat feel terrible. So she doesn't really want to do that either. She doesn't want to eat. She doesn't want to drink. She drink a little bit and eat a little bit, like a little bit. Oh, but she's not well, and I just hoping and praying that my little baby will be much better. I was telling her, when I was a child, I used to be sick at Christmas too. And it's not fun. It's not fun. When I was growing up, when I was maybe between like say seven to maybe 12 thereabouts. I don't know. I don't remember exactly when it stopped. I just remember that there was a Christmas when I was not sick, and I remember thinking, I'm not sick. Because when I was growing up, our Christmas tradition was that on Christmas Eve night they would have what they call grand market, which all the stores would just stay open until really late, and you could go and shop. Sometimes they'd have lots of deals, little sales, little things that you could just pick up, last minute gifts, whatever. Um, not too much thought, things that were pre-packaged that you could buy. Some of them already even gift wrapped. So if you needed a gift that you didn't have time to wrap, whatever. But the idea was just to be out with all the energy and all the people and all the food and people, with I don't remember firecrackers so much, like in maybe I think so, but we we would kind of stay away from those. But I remember my parents, my mom. I remember my mom giving us like sparklers, little um, those little handheld sparklers. My grandmother, especially, she would get them from overseas, and she would travel, and she would always save them for us. And we call them starlights, and we get little sparklers, and people would have those walking around with. Um, and Christmas Eve was supposed to be fun, and I remember that there were years when on Christmas Eve we'd go to the pharmacy, because back then the pharmacy slash drugstore was like the department store, and you go there to buy gifts and also medicine for me. Just remember, yeah, trying to get medicine, but it was always this illness that would come like around this time, and it was um, I was allergic to a flower. I was allergic to a flower, Christmas flower, and so every year, and it wasn't until I outgrew the allergy, I guess. So um, I was telling my daughter, I understand being sick at Christmas because I used to be sick at Christmas when I was her age, and eventually I outgrew it. Another big reason that some of the kids are sick, I think, is just because it's so cold, and sometimes they don't want to wear, or your parents put them on. They don't want to wear really warm clothes. The parents put on these warmer clothes and they take them off. My daughter is like that. She will tell you she is hot. I'm burning up. But without the sweater, you'll be cold. So we try to do the layers, but she doesn't like too much clothes. And, I think most children are probably like that. So hopefully she'll be better soon. Hopefully she'll be better soon. So she's taking a nap. So I thought I'd come on here and just chat with you for a few minutes while she is taking a nap. I plan to stay on here for about 20, 25 more minutes. Maybe some of that time we will spend reading together. I will tell you about my current reads. And if you are reading something right now, I'd love to tell me about it. I would love to hear what you are reading, what you've been reading, what you've been loving lately. I will tell you my books, my current books. So, since we last spoke, I finished something. What was I reading? Oh, since we last spoke, I finished this, and I put up a vlog about it a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday. I don't remember when the vlog went live, but I finished reading this. I did a reading vlog where I was reading Yours for the Season by Emily Stone. And so you can get a little bit more of my thoughts on this in that vlog. But just in case you're not a vlog watcher, because I know there's some people who will watch other videos, but they don't like vlogs because of all the other things that vlogs include. This is the book that I read in the vlog. It is a Christmas setting, Christmas setting within a family. So we're reading about our female main character has her own jewelry business. She started it because she loved designing jewelry, and now that she has the business, she gets to do what she loves a lot less, and she has to focus on the business, because that's typically what happens. If you've watched like a lot of Shark Tank, like I used to, they'll tell you some businesses cannot scale because what you put into the business personally, you can't outsource. There are things that you can't scale up. And generally, for a business to be really profitable, for it to really grow, you have to be able to scale. And if the thing that the business relies on is you, it's going to be very difficult. So in here, our main character, Melanie, she's a jewelry designer, but now she is running her jewelry business. And so she hires designers. And for a while, she's been focused on finding success in the business, even if it means that she's no longer getting to do what she loves. And so we see her in, kind of that split identity where she thinks that she should be chasing this success in business, even at the expense of her own happiness. And I don't think she had fully realized how much she had compromised on her happiness until something really pivotal happened. So she was in a relationship with her boyfriend Finn. They were together for about 3 years, and at a big event they broke up. And we get a little bit of the perspective of both of the characters. So how the story happens, we meet them after they've broken up, and he is inviting her to pretend that they are back together so that she can spend Christmas with him and his family. And that is the lead up to the story. But then we go back in time. So the author brings us back to when they met almost 4 years prior, and we see them almost every year or every 6 months leading up to present time. So we have these two timelines or multiple timelines running concurrently in the book. So we meet in present time, and then we jump back to 4 years ago when they met, and then we come back to present time, and then we get back to about a year or so before the breakup, and we're going back and forth. And so we see these characters in various points in their lives, see how their relationship started and how it developed, and we get to fall in love with them as a couple, but also know the we can see the little tears, we can see the little places where they weren't completely being honest with themselves or with each other, about what they wanted. And so in this book, we get to explore success from various perspectives. There's also another character in here who is a woman who's a mother. She's a stay-at-home mother who used to have a very successful corporate career. But now that she's been focused on raising her child and staying at home, to be available for her child, she is contemplating going back to the corporate world, but also thinking and being very concerned about what that means, this time that she's been away, and what it will mean for her family if she switches focus from just focusing on the home to still focusing on the home, but also focusing on work. And, it's a very, very important subject for women. It's a very personal subject for me because what the author tries to share with the reader is that, number one, parenting shouldn't be a struggle for mothers. There are a lot of responsibilities that go into just taking care of a home and taking care of a family, and that some of the responsibilities should be shared by all the adults in the household, whether that is the other spouse or whether there are other family members, extended family members who are close by. Because at the end of the day, we're all family. This is a unit that we are working on together. Why can't we all be responsible for each other? Why can't we all share the joy of the responsibilities of being available for children? So I like how she explored it. I like how she broached the topic and how we got to see, success from lots of different angles. Lots of different angles. So there are also there are also other family relationships, other family dynamics that we are exploring, and it was fun. It was fun. It's a fun read, but it's also broaching some serious topics that need to be discussed. Like there's a couple in here that is thinking about taking the next step in their relationship and talking about what having children will mean for their relationship as well as for them as individuals. And so, yeah, we get to see that topic of womanhood / motherhood and family responsibilities from lots of angles. And so I highly recommend this one. Emily Stone is now one of my favorite holiday themed writers. She also wrote this book, Winter Wish, which I read maybe last Christmas and really enjoyed as well. This one also broached family dynamics from different perspectives. In this one, I don't remember there being children, but we got that work relationship discussion as well, because we had our main female character in here inheriting a company when her father passed away, and realizing that some of what she thought was going to be um, what's it called, autocracy, when she thought she was going to be able to make decisions on her own, that she now had to share some of that ownership with someone else, and what that means for their relationship. So yeah, two books that I have read recently by Emily Stone, two holiday themed books, and I really enjoyed them. So I am saying that she is a new favorite holiday themed author. I haven't read anything else from Emily Stone that is set in a different time. This one, in terms of place setting, this one is set in Scotland during the holiday season. So we also got some Hallmark movie-esque family Christmas activities, which, I don't know, if you're like me and you watch Hallmark movies, it may set you up for this unfair expectation that this is what it means to celebrate Christmas in a town. I live in a town. It might not be a small town, but where I live, I think it's small. It's small enough. And somehow we don't have the holiday. We don't have the holiday activities like they're mentioned in this book and like in Hallmark movies. But yeah, I enjoyed reading the people doing the things and seeing some of the disastrous results that they may not show on TV on these movies. But yeah, so this was a recent read. I also finally started Love, Anger, Madness by Marie Vauchevet. This is a triptych. It is three novellas forming one story, and the author Marie Vauchevet is a very well-known Haitian author from the early 1900s or mid 1900s. She was born in Haiti in 1916, I think it was, and she wrote these three novellas, and of course, they were written in her native tongue, which is Haitian, maybe Creole or French Creole, Haitian French Creole, maybe. I don't quote me on that part of it, but it is translated from. It says translated, but it doesn't say exactly if it's just if it's broad French or French Creole, but it doesn't matter. I'm not reading it in that language. I'm reading it in English. This is translated by Rose Miriam Rejouis and Val Rejouy. Rose Miriam Rejouy and Val Vinokur. So this is a cover that I have. I think I had bought this on Book Outlet a few years ago because it was a French Haitian author, and I didn't really know the history of it. And so I've put this on a TBR many times, and finally picking it up. It is one of my 10 before the end books. I still have 4 of those books to go. This is one of those 4. So I am invested in finishing this in the next few days. So when I stop yapping, I'm gonna read a little bit of this while you are here. So like I said, this is a Haitian triptych, and it is 3 novellas. Love is one novella, Anger is one novella, Madness is another novella. And it is tracing a little bit of the some of the uniqueness of Haitian experience, which is Haitian identity being the first. They're unique in their history. They were the first country to achieve emancipation. They were the first country to achieve. Let me not say this wrong. I feel like I know this, but am I saying it right? Okay. The Haitian history that she is exploring, however, is not during that part. It is not during the um, 17 and 1800s, where you know about Toussaint and those names. That's not what she's writing about. She's writing about the period in the early to mid 1900s when the United States occupied Haiti and what the United States occupation meant for the people there. She's also talking a little bit about the society and the hierarchy that existed prior to the invasion and that maybe led to the invasion because of the hierarchy that developed based on enslavement and um, colonization. So in this book, in the first novella, which is where I still am, we're reading about three sisters. um, One who is married. They all live together in this house. One of the sisters has gotten married, and so her husband is now living in the home with them. But there are two unmarried sisters. One is younger, and so a little bit more seen as more attractive and definitely seen as more of a temptress. And the older one, who's the one that we seem to be following or reading from her perspective, she is older, but she's also seen as distinctly different because of her appearance. So these three sisters are of mixed race, but the oldest sister is the one who appears dark. She appears dark skinned. And so her appearance also reflects on the two younger sisters who are so light they may be white passing, but they can't pass because everybody knows who their sister is, and so everybody knows that they are mixed race. Um, and so in this book, we're really exploring what appearance looks like, what it does. Um, I need to read the book. I can't talk too much about it, but I am so intrigued by the dynamic that is set up in this household with these three sisters. One of them who has a husband, and when we meet her, she's pregnant, and what it means for the dynamics in the household. Because I've read books. I've read books by Haitian authors in the period before this, as well as in the period after it. And I've never read this timeline. So I'm very intrigued. I um I don't know. Okay, so this was originally published in 1968, and it said the book was considered so incendiary that the author was forced to flee Haiti, and the novellas virtually disappeared from circulation. So this reissue is the only English translation of a true lost classic. And I did read that when she left Haiti, fled, she came to the United States. She came to New York. She was living in Queens. I don't know if she spent the rest of her life here, but I did read that in the introduction. I try not to read too much of the introduction because I don't want to read too much of what the story is. Um, I am glad that I read a few lines from it. There's a foreword from Edwidge Danticat, who is very well known Haitian author, contemporary Haitian author. So this is one of the books that I am reading. The other book that I started reading is The Sweet Dove Died by Barbara Pym. This is another Pym. I just finished a Pym that I was reading earlier so that I could start this one. This is a buddy read with my friends who we call ourselves the Eclectic Readers because we read a lot of different kinds of books. We have read several books by this author. And authors like her. But we are just starting this one. We just started, so we haven't checked in yet. So this is one of the books that I'm going to be reading and talking about in the next few days. But these two are my current reads. I wrapped up a couple of other things recently, and I think I may have told you about them already, and I don't know where they are right now because there are books all around for different reasons, and I don't want to start looking at those files too hard, because then I would seriously start yapping. So we're going to take like 10 minutes and I'm just going to read a few more pages. Maybe I'll have something new to tell you when I'm done. Let me know if you are reading as well, what you're reading, and we'll talk about it then. So we're going to start reading now, and we'll read until 11:33, or if my daughter wakes up before then, I might have to stop. But reading until 11:33, starting now. This is what I'm reading. Oh, and I'm also eating a candy cane. Okay, so Love, the first novella, Love, is, like I said, about these three sisters in Haiti. They're in the early to mid 1900s, I'm thinking. I'm not sure exactly when the book is set. It doesn't, right now, it doesn't say. We do know that they're in the period of American occupation, but because of my lack of history knowledge, I don't know exactly when that ended. But, but, we're reading about these three sisters, and there's 8 years between each one. So the oldest is 16 years older than her younger sister, her youngest sister. Um, the middle sister, the middle sister is married, and the husband lives in the house, and all three of the sisters are in love with him, but only one is married to him. Only one is having his child. How will they deal with this? So he seems to have fallen to the temptations of becoming involved with the youngest sister, and then the middle sister, who is his wife and pregnant, um, has a reaction. And I don't think it is that she necessarily explicitly knows what is going on, but something starts to happen to her, and he needs to choose her. He needs to choose her because that is his child that she is carrying. But all of that is made even more complicated because the oldest sister, the one who is darker skinned, much older, and is now being considered, being called, she's calling herself like an old maid. She's past the point where suitors are lining up for her. She may never have been at the point where the suitors were lining up, but at least she had an opportunity for a well placed marriage some time ago. Now she's much older, and she has kind of taken on this persona of being the keeper of the house. It seems like she's left that behind, except that now there is a man in the house, and he doesn't, he's not projecting fidelity. He's not projecting that he is really exclusive with his wife. And so she is also harboring feelings for him, which are made even more intense because of what has happened with the other sister. So, Love, three sisters, one man. He's married to one of them. How will this go? Excuse me. So, very intriguing setup for a story. I will keep reading. But for now, I'm going to go check on my daughter and, get some other things going. We are 3 days away from Christmas. My intention was for us to go to the library today for children's playtime, but my daughter is not in a position where she could do that. So we're going to do some things at home. I have some gingerbread house kits for us to work on. When she wakes up, she feels up to it. We have lots of have lots of little presents to wrap. Let me know if you're watching this later. Or if you're watching it live now and want to comment now, watch it later. You could always comment and tell me when. Let me just say it like this. Are the gifts in the stockings wrapped or they're not wrapped? Because in a couple of years prior, I don't think they were wrapped. I know some things in the stockings, like the apple, is not wrapped. But are other things wrapped? Let me know. I don't think they were wrapped. I don't think we wrapped them last time because, let's say it like this. I don't think they were wrapped last time because my daughter was younger. She is 6. She's asking questions that they're pointed. And my response to the pointed questions, they have to be exactly right. So I don't want to do something that I shouldn't do. Are the presents in the stockings wrapped? Let me know. So that's my question of the day. I'm gonna go back to reading. I'm gonna go sit beside my daughter in the bed while she's sleeping, and I'm gonna read this quietly. I may make another video if I have a few more minutes, I think. But we'll see. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really enjoy your company. I could talk you know, excuse me, I could talk for a long time. I've gotten used to it. I've been on BookTube now for about 10 years. I could talk to the camera. I could talk to the webcam for a long time, as you can see. So let me know if you are watching. If you're watching this later, let me know when you're watching it. Comments, I'll know when you're watching it. And I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what how your Christmas preparation is going. If you celebrate, if whether or not you celebrate, if you don't, if you're celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. I don't think I've been on here live since Hanukkah started. So happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, happy everything. And we'll be back soon with another live, hopefully, but also another Vlogmas video coming your way soon. So I hope you join me for it. Until then, happy reading. Bye.